welcome to another Vlognukkah day, and today we're gonna look at my resolutions that I set out for 2025 and see if we accomplished them. I will say, I am filming this about 6 weeks, actually just over 6 weeks, I think, before New Year's, so I do still have 6 more weeks to rectify anything that I might have missed. I cannot remember most of my resolutions. I think the only one I can remember is to do the 10K, which I know I've done. But aside from that, I don't know what else I set out in my resolutions. So let's have a look together and yeah, we'll see.
Some of the things on here, specifically one of the things on here, I might end up doing before the end of the year. So I've got 3 categories this year. It's to go on the family holiday. We are planning another family holiday with, again, all the cousins.
That was a really nice family holiday. That was in June, and I ended up taking, I think, almost 3.5 weeks off work because we had 1 week with just my immediate family, 1 week with grandparents, and then 1 week where both my parents were in London, and we just did lots of like day trips and things. It was really lovely. We currently don't have anything planned for next year, but I do hope that we get an opportunity to all come together again, but we'll see.
Next up, go to Holland. I've not been to Holland at all in 2020.
Wow, I can't believe I didn't go in 2024. Yeah, I went to Holland. I feel like I went multiple times, but maybe I didn't. Well, obviously I went twice, like in September, October, with like 1 week in between. Is that the only time I went this year? It might be. No, I went in February. I did go in February as well. And it still doesn't feel like enough. Oh, I just love Holland.
Really want to see 45, which is the musical.
I still haven't done that.
Miss Meet Up with Friends more, and you'll see, I think, in a future video when I'm setting up.
I feel like I have met up with friends more this year. And I know that I've made more of an effort, like, from my end, but it's still not as much as I think I would like. But I also know that, you know, life is busy for me as well as for them, and schedules is messy. And, you know, like, I know all things considered, I do feel like I improved, which is a good thing. And I really do feel I made an effort, but I might pop that down for my resolutions for next year because I do feel like there's further to go with it.
Maybe we'll be done before the end of the year, and that is to move out. It's been wonderful staying.
I moved out! I'm so happy here. It's lovely that I'm not too far from the area where I was and from my grandma and other family, but it is really nice to have my own space. And I think at this point, I didn't yet, like you guys didn't yet know about Wayne. I did, and I knew that moving out would include moving in with Wayne, and that's been lovely as well. Really nice.
Complete my 10K race in February. You may have gathered from some of my running videos that
I didn't just complete a 10K, I completed a half marathon, and I ended up doing so many 10Ks like within the training of that. Crazy, unbelievable, like genuinely, I don't feel, I was looking actually today, I was looking back at pictures of the half marathon, and it blows my mind that I did that. That is crazy. I don't know how, especially like all things considered, and I spoke about it a lot at the time, with the weather more than anything. The fact that I still completed it, even though it wasn't the best and, you know, like it didn't quite go as I wanted it to, it's mad to me that I did that. Mad. And I'm now seeing loads of like advertisements for the 10K, you know, the winter run that I did. And it's so tempting. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that would be so easy now. But I don't want to spend money. But aside from that, I would do it. Honestly, I loved it. The 10K was a really good experience. The half marathon was a mixed experience, but I'm very proud I did it.
On from that, my next resolution is to keep running after I've completed the race. I don't want to.
Again, not just did I keep running, I did a half marathon. After the half marathon, so far in the sort of 2 months that it's been since the half marathon, I have run twice. I think a total of 8 kilometers, maybe even less. So that's something, again, maybe I need to put down for next year. I do want to pick up the running again, but my schedule has genuinely got so much busier since around September time. So yeah, it's hard. And obviously with the clocks changing, that makes it harder as well.
Is to cook and experiment more. I get very nervous.
Interesting. I definitely feel I've done more, loads more, and I mean that's a given because, you know, now I'm cooking my own meals when a lot of the time it was my grandma. I don't feel I've experimented quite as much. I feel like I found a couple of recipes that I know and trust and just make every other day, basically. I think a big factor is like how small my kitchen is, but that's not a good enough excuse. Another factor obviously is just my very long working days sometimes. which also makes it harder. Another factor, honestly, is money, because the more you add or the more you try and do, often it ends up being more expensive. And I'm always very conscious of just trying to get the cheapest and easiest meal out. But yes, I have done more, but there's still room to grow, certainly.
Give to charity. I say this every year.
Okay, listen up. I donated, well, not I, you all the people in my life donated over £2,000, kind of on behalf of me, across Cancer Research UK and Children's Heart Federation, which is insane. Insane. That was because of me. Crazy. And like, I know it wasn't me who donated, and I'm so grateful for every penny people put in. I have so much gratitude towards that, but it was because of me, and that's crazy. On top of that, I then also started donating monthly to Cancer Research UK, so I have done that. And I don't know if I want to stick with Cancer Research UK for next year, or if I want to find something. I do really believe in the work that Cancer Research UK does, but I feel like I want to support something a bit smaller and something that's a bit less known. But that's always been the problem. That's always been the reason why I haven't done something like this, where I've just like subscribed, if you will, on a monthly basis. So maybe I should just stick with Cancer Research UK until I have the time to research something else. But at least I'm doing it, right? So I'll take it.
Next one, do more with my cupboard and my clothes.
Yes, I have been doing a lot more with my cupboard and my clothes. Partly in YouTube and partly just in life. I really feel like I've been more conscious of what I'm wearing, and, you know, picking outfits that I don't wear as much, or decluttering items that I don't wear as much, and yeah, like finding ways to play with it. So that's been really good. I didn't know that was one of my resolutions.
And it is to read 12 books, one a month.
Oh my gosh.
Within that,
Okay, I don't know exactly the figures, but I know I'm over 50, so I definitely am well above 12.
I also want to read at least one Dutch book, if possible.
Oh. I definitely read one. Did I read more than one? I'm not sure if I read more than one, but I definitely read one. And I'm going to add that for next year as well.
And ideally 2 physical copies, because I really enjoyed reading.
Where Rainbow's End and the Dutch one, they were both physical, and the Nightingale was physical. That's at least 3. There might have been more. Nice. Again, I didn't realise that was a resolution, but I'm glad I did it.
Do some form of movement 4 times a week. And that can be anything. That can be stretching.
Oh, I'm not sure I did 4 times a week. I don't think that was even close, especially since I finished the half marathon training, and especially since then I feel like I've done so little, and I definitely want to pick that up. So that's also going to go into next year's resolutions. There's going to be a separate video for that, and it'll probably be quite repetitive to today's, but I didn't mean for that. 4 times a week, that's crazy.
Make a new singing reel. And basically what that means,
I don't know if I made a new one, but I know that I like edited the one I have or had and tried to like improve it with the clips I have. But I do think I still want to work more on it.
And one of the reasons for that is related to my next resolution, which I'm not actually going to say out loud. Not because I mind sharing it, but because at the moment, I don't think it's fair to share yet. I will share it at some point though. So my third resolution then is to get at least one performing job.
What's the second resolution? Why was I so vague about it? What was it to do with singing? Oh, maybe it was to do with finding a new agent. My agent said she was closing her agency. She sort of let us know, I think, in October. So I think the new singing reel was to do with also wanting to find a new agent. But I did. I found a new agent before my first agent closed the agency. So that was good. And I've been very happy with them so far.
Which did this year.
Oh, and what was this one? One performing job? I have that. And I'm, as of when I'm filming this, I'm like in the process of filming for that. So that's good. And I'm very glad that happened. That was like very near the end of the year. And it was looking like it was going to be a year without a performing job. So I'm very glad that's happened.
And lastly, take up singing lessons. Now, this doesn't have to be every week.
I should have. My mum even offered to help out with the cost. And I haven't done it. And I keep saying I will. I'm subscribed to like various singing teachers, to their like newsletters and stuff, or, you know, whatever, like when they release classes, and I've just not done it. I need to do it. Frustrating.
My YouTube category.
Ooh.
Number 1 is to keep being consistent with YouTube videos. I feel like I've got into
I've been very consistent. I'm happy with that.
Be more open about YouTube. I think
I have been. Do you know what? I've said it to my friends. They've featured in a vlog. I've said it obviously to my family. They've been in the vlogs multiple times now. So my grandparents, everyone. Yes, I've been good. Not great, but good. Better, which is a win.
The next one is to reach 300 subscribers. I'm not far off at the moment.
300! Honey, baby, you're at 500! Crazy. I don't know how that happened. Somehow, I feel like I blinked and all of a sudden I had over 500 subscribers. And that is crazy to me. Thank you all so much. You have no idea. It's so cool to me because it's something I love doing and I've done it, you know, for almost, well, no, over 10 years by the time you're watching this. Crazy. And way to ruin a moment. Alexa, stop the timer, please. Yeah, it's so cool to be recognized in the slightest, smallest, tiniest way. So thank you all. And if you're just watching this and you're not subscribed, you can see how much I would appreciate a subscriber, an extra, whatever. You can be one of my subscribers and I would appreciate that. But yeah, thank you so much, all of you.
Number 4 is to upload more singing videos and covers. And again, I think this will be...
It's always the singing ones, isn't it? I did do a few. Not as many as I think I would have liked, but I did a few. And we'll take it. And we'll work on doing more next year, as I say every year.
And then the last one, again, it's not what I'm going to say outright, but as in past years, I've had something that I slowly sort of
that's Wayne.
feed you in terms of information about my life. There is another point I would like to share at some point, ideally this year. But I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. So those are my resolutions.
I feel like this was a very mixed bag. There were a lot of resolutions that I did complete or exceeded expectations on. And then there were quite a few that I didn't even come close to. So things to work on for next year, definitely things to add to my resolutions for 2026, but also definitely things to pat myself on the back for. I think the biggest success for me is definitely being able to raise over £2,000. There's just something unbelievable about that. And I kind of feel like, obviously I'm going to use this platform, you know, to hopefully help my career and also to just document my life and journal and everything that I've always already spoken about. But if I can get to a subscriber amount or like a following where that can be my role, where I can help to sort of signpost places to donate to or ways to fundraise or things like that, I feel like that's kind of what I feel like I want to do with a potential platform. So yeah, maybe if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I do a marathon. Maybe that's like the payment, if you will, the encouragement. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here because my timer went off and I need to go check on the food. But thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end. Let me know what some of your resolutions are for next year. I will have already filmed my video of resolutions for next year by the time you're watching this, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, or let me know what you had resolved to do this year and whether or not you've accomplished it. Or, you know, sometimes life happens in a way that you don't expect. And then you're unable to do the resolutions you're able to do, or it's not as important to you anymore. Luckily for me, this year was quite, you know, stable and more or less what I was expecting of it. But I'm very conscious that that's not always the case for everyone, and you need to be able to adjust, and that's okay. But I will see you all tomorrow in another video. Bye!